Today's episode is brought to you by Fretboard Biology, the comprehensive online guitar course put together by Joe Elliott. Now, Joe is not only a fantastic guitar player, he draws on his years of experience as the ex-head of guitar at the Guitar Institute of Technology and also at the McNally Smith Music College. Here's a few words from Joe about the course.
If you're tired of wading through hundreds of random guitar videos and just want to become a better player, Fretboard Biology is your answer. Fretboard Biology is a self-paced, college-level program that'll give you the right instruction, in the right amounts, and in the right order. You'll learn the same information I taught to thousands of other guitar players over 30 years of teaching in top music colleges. If you want to make real progress with your guitar playing, then sign up for a free 7-day trial at fretboardbiology.com.
Hi there, you are listening to the Guitar Speak podcast. My name's Matt Wakeling. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the show that I produce in Sydney, Australia. We do interviews, guitar reviews, and one of my favourite things is when I get to hang out with my two friends, Gabor, Josika.
Howdy.
And Rob Rhodes.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. And we present the iconic series here. This started during the dark days of lockdown. Rob and Gabor and I started doing iconic albums, and we've kind of spread out the idea to do iconic themed guitar stuff. So this episode's theme is iconic guitar collaborations. Rob put this idea together. Over to you, Rob.
Right, so the impetus and inspiration for this episode, I think, because we kind of came up with these ideas quite some time ago, was the Fender 70th anniversary clip release of Voodoo Child. I think that's what spawned the whole idea.
Which is really cool, that video.
And that was, that featured Tom Morello, Nile Rodgers, Australia's own Tash Sultana, Jimmy Vaughan, Mateus Asato, my favourite, Tyler Bryant, and his wife, Rebecca Lovell from Larkin Poe. So that was like, oh, that's all really cool. What other guitar collaborations have there been, and can we fill a whole episode with them? So the answer was a resounding, yeah, maybe. And here we are talking about famous guitar collaborations. So there was I didn't put any limits or restrictions or anything on this. So we all just kind of came up with our own ideas. And the other inspiration was, so I couldn't split these two. So I might just put in an extra one, but I'll keep it short. But the other inspiration for this was the release of Some Assembly Required by Jason Becker and Friends. And it featured an amazing array of guitar players, all shredders.
Oh, it's
a shred fest.
Very, very fast.
It's,
all the way through.
There's more shredding going on than a Whole Foods store.
Oh, yeah.
So
we're all night, folks.
Chris Broderick, Joe Bonamassa, Gus G, Paul Gilbert, Angel Vivaldi, Steve Vai, Steve Stevens, Rob Scallion, Jennifer Batten, Nilly Brosh, Richie Kotzen, Mark Rizzo, Larry Basilio, Zach Wilde, and Alex Skolnick. The project was a collaboration led by Nita Strauss and her fiance drummer Josh Villalta. I think that's what it is.
Oh, he's the guy at the start, the drummer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's based on the original demo track recorded by Jason Becker, which was initially intended for David Lee Roth, but was never used. Jason wrote the song in early 1990 and recorded it originally with Matt and Greg Bissonette, who we've talked about on previous episodes.
Yeah.
The backstory is the project. The backstory is that a few years ago, Nita and Josh visited Jason to explore this unreleased music for potential collaboration. They decided to take Jason's rough demo, set it to a click, and re-record the drums and rhythm guitars. The project evolved into something much larger than initially planned obviously, if you've watched it. I'm sure the link will be in the show notes. And aiming to have a significant impact by raising awareness and funds for Jason, who has been battling ALS for many years. So yeah, the project culminated in a video that was sent to Jason on Christmas Day to bring him some holiday cheer to him and his family. Jason loved the final result and christened the new song Some Assembly Required. It stands as a testament to the guitar community's respect and admiration for Jason Becker and his legacy and their collective effort to support him in his ongoing battle with ALS. So he writes with his eyes, and pretty much a computer system, I think, that he helped design. So he still composes music by, with his eyes on a screen, and the camera will pick up what note that he's pointing at, and it puts it all together. So some of my favorites on this, they weren't all to my taste, but Joe Bonamassa's appearance is great. Paul Gilbert, Angel Vivaldi does some crazy stuff.
Yes.
Throws the pick mid
I
solo.
love
That's awesome.
fun. And just starts tapping like crazy.
Yeah. And Nita Strauss, fantastic.
Playing a
And then
yo-yo.
a little tip of the hat to Jason Becker's old stage trick with the yo-yo.
Yeah, that was cool.
Jason Becker's original parts sound phenomenal. Herman Lee is great. And Luke is fantastic, especially when they inserted that video of him, annoying his neighbors.
In his backyard, yes.
That was so cool.
That was great.
So yeah, Matt, what was your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, oh man, I loved it. All the love around Jason Becker is always good to see. And I had Jude Gold's been on the podcast a couple of times, and he's actually played on some stuff for Jason Becker when he's learnt the parts that have been written, and it's such a cool thing. Loved it. I think I enjoyed a lot of the same things you did. I wrote down is it Angelo Vivaldi? The chucking the pick. It was a good pick toss as well. Like it really followed the camera. I love that. The yo-yo, of course, by Nita Strauss. She rips as well.
Yeah.
Her solo's amazing.
But she was just in town with Alice Cooper, and everyone I know who went couldn't wait to send me a message and say, Nita Strauss, how good is she? Like, amazing. So even non-guitar players are astounded by her at the moment.
Get it. Yeah. I saw them a few years ago, Alice Cooper. I got offered a review ticket or something, and it was amazing. And she was doing all the super modern shreddy stuff. Unreal. And the other dude, Ryan Roxy, and there's another guitarist. Ryan Roxy, he's kind of modern but kind of vintage, and the other guy was very rock and roll. Kind of supercharged Chuck Berry.
I know the guy I can't bring in.
I know, he's super cool. Sorry,
because I think is he the same guy that's in the Hollywood Vampires?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, what's his name? Anyway, they're all yelling.
Johnny
at us.
Depp.
No,
the other Johnny Depp. I liked hearing Bonamassa in more of a shreddy context. That was fun.
Yeah. And he's got no legato.
Anything guitar related, doesn't he? And if there's any, I'll do it. Collaboration, I'll do it. What is it?
It's great, man. It's great. I really like Larry Basillo. I think her phrasing and tone's so cool in whatever she does. I really like her playing. Skolnick playing the EVH strat was cool. And then all the video shots of Jason Becker doing stuff.
Was it Tommy Hendrickson? Is that his name?
That's it. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, Tommy Hendrickson.
Thanks, Google.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's ripping. Love it.
Yeah, I found a lot of them were very similar how they approached the melody.
I found Marty Friedman was quite different. I really liked what he was doing. He's
really unique. That guy.
He's super unique player, and he sort of stood out to me as sort of the guy who did something quite different. It was quite a let's play as many notes as humanly possible.
There were quite a few notes.
I don't think there's ever been that many notes played in whatever 7 minutes or whatever long that is. It probably holds a world record for the most notes played within 7 minutes. But Marty Friedman I thought stood out, and Paul Gilbert to me. There were two that stood out as doing a few little different things. And Paul Gilbert played an Iceman, so that's on top of it. The Ibanez Iceman, so I gotta give that a shout out.
Yeah, definitely.
I felt that a lot of the guitarist tone didn't fit into the song. And I'll probably talk about that with my second choice later on, of how, it's a great project and brought awareness to ALS, and it's great for Jason and all that. But I would have really liked, if I can only find, the only negative I could find is that I would have really liked to have been able to blend the tones into the song more, rather than I guess it was kind of their iconic tone that they were trying to purvey, like Jennifer Batten and all of that. But I would have liked to have seen a little bit of a better blend and it all to come together a bit more, rather than one guitar like really jumped out and then the next minute one was really, fat and not cutting through the mix as well as the last person. But there's some amazing, even Neely Brosh, her solo was really good too. And
she's awesome, man.
Yeah.
She's been doing all that Deathlock stuff with Danny Elfman, and that's really cool.
Oh, right, yeah.
She's great. Did you mean Jennifer Batten? Yeah, she played some really tasty stuff on a Strat kind of thing.
Blue guitar, yeah.
The blue guitar, the Thomas
Blue,
cool.
yeah.
So I was expecting her to come out with the 8-finger stuff that she does, but she took it a different direction, which was kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was my first choice of
Dig it.
iconic guitar collaborations. And how about you, Matt? What did you pick?
All right, yeah. Well, my collaboration. Oh man, I'm pretty excited about this. This is Hearing Aid. This is a metal. It is so metal. There is none more metal. This, if the aliens come to Earth and say, "What is the '80s?" I'm going to show them Hearing Aid.
And this is the perfect partner to the last one.
Oh man. Okay, so this was a project put together in 1986 by Vivian Campbell.
Oh my god.
Absolutely. It screams not 1987, 1986.
Yeah.
Put together by Vivian Campbell and Jimmy Bain. They were guitar players with Dio. It was a fundraiser. It was really drawing on inspiration from things like Live Aid and We Are the World and all those sort of projects. Vivian Campbell and Jimmy Bain, they thought, can we get the metal community together to do something like this? They finally talked their boss, Ronnie James Dio, into getting involved. And once he got involved, they knew they could pull in some other people who, by dropping Dio's name. So it's against a long song, these long collabs, you've got to be long to fit everyone's parts in. Okay, so these are some of the bands or the musicians involved. So the Dio guys, as we said, Yngwie Malmsteen, Tommy Aldridge, Judas Priest, members of Iron Maiden, Quite Right, Dokken, Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, Queensryche, Blue Oyster Cult, Vanilla Fudge, Y&T, Rough Cut, Guafria. I remember the band. I never knew how to say it. Journey, Wasp, Night Ranger. Even guys from Spinal Tap.
David St. Hubbins.
So good. Just killer. So, 7 minutes of metal. So much hairspray in that room.
Oh, yeah. It's a very flammable stage.
I got a sore throat just watching the video. It was crazy.
I thought Gabor, I was watching Spinal Tap 3.
Yes. So it was for an amazing cause. They raised over $3 million for famine relief in Africa, which is awesome. So
in $86, woo!
Yeah, that's about $7 squillion today, or 23 billion.
That's a unit in Sydney.
It's a unit in Sydney.
Yeah.
It's a studio flat, but it's still a unit in Sydney.
Yeah. I was going to say
no. I was thinking a storage unit.
No bedrooms there. So.
No garage. No garage.
Canards.
Now, Gabor, tell the truth. Did you get through the whole video?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched the whole video. I thought it was great, especially when the credits started rolling at the end. It was fantastic.
So many credits. So many credits.
No, it was something. It was definitely something. It was definitely something. I mean, they're the stars, really, in my eyes. No, I mean it's about. I at first I kind of watched it and thought, is this like a Spinal Tap? Is this real or is this like a?
That's what I wrote down.
Like
I wrote down. Do you think they knew how funny it was, or were they taking it super serious and it just looks like a parody through 2024?
It'd be interesting to know.
I think the latter. I think they are deadly serious.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah. It was just great, and I mean
Except
it's
Michael
80s as it
McKean,
gets.
he wasn't taking it serious.
No, and Harry Shearer's in it too. Derek Smalls is in it too. No, I thought it was great.
It's so good.
I thought it was wild. Yeah, that's all I can say. Watch it, people. Watch it. Your life will change.
Yep.
For better or for worse, not 100% sure, but it'll change.
No, it'll be enriching, absolutely enriching.
Yeah.
And I, for one, am so glad that they put the lyrics in text form.
Yes.
So I knew exactly what I was saying.
That's always
Because it
important to
wasn't
know.
clear. No, it was totally clear what they were singing because it was the simplest lyrics you could imagine. It was super hilarious. But on the serious side, I thought that Yngwie was an absolute standout.
Oh, he crushes everyone.
Unbelievable.
Isn't he always?
But everything, it was so good. And Neil Schon as well from Journey, what he played, super tasty, as always.
Yeah.
I love the Vince Neil moments. I thought that. I don't think he ever sung a lead part. He was just in the gang vocal.
I think so.
He was like he was like one of the actors in We Are the World. Like it was just that. I'm just here. It's so funny.
Lots of fists.
So many fists.
We are stars. Like
Lots of shoulder pads.
spoke to me.
Lots of hair.
And the dude kind of leading the gang vocal, sort of the choir director.
What about Rob Halford's commitment?
Oh yeah, he was great. He was in the gang shot. he was built.
Oh my God.
Okay, the choir shot. Does that sound better?
If
He
you're
was
listening
belting it out.
if you're listening and you haven't watched it, pause it now and laugh with us
Yeah, you gotta
because
watch it.
it's
You
just
have to watch it. It's
You have to
phenomenal.
watch it.
doesn't translate just talking about it. But
No,
yes,
definitely
we've clearly
not.
watched it. You two could be
I've
having
watched
this
it
much
more
fun.
than once.
I'm going to watch it after we stop recording. I'm going to put it on again.
Oh my God. We should do We should do a live reaction
Live
video to
reaction
it.
show. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
we should have
I
done
think
that.
the horse is
It's so full on.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
It's just
I
relentless.
genuinely, I've never heard of this before. And I watched it, and I started watching it, and I started going, "Is this like a Spinal Tap thing? Is this real? This
Yes.
can't be real, can it?" But then
It's
it is real. Yeah, the more you watch
so
it, the more you go, "No, this is real."
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. It's
It
absolutely
is.
fantastic.
It's gold. So yeah, there's a YouTube clip. I'll add this link in the show notes. And someone amazing has timestamped who is singing when and who is soloing when and all that kind of stuff. So that's really cool to follow who's who, because they haven't got a live film in the studio. They've got some video footage, but it's not what went to tape, if that makes sense, for the guitars anyway. So yeah, but it's cool, man. It's cool. So yeah, so much vibrato, so much everything.
Brad Gillis, like one solo was just all pinched harmonics.
Oh yeah.
Like, there was nothing else to say. Just
That's killer.
oh my God.
That is very good. George Lynch sounds great as well. The vocals, man. After a while, they all sound the same to me. All the vocals.
This
Yeah.
is really high. Yeah.
Although Ronnie James Dio, oh my goodness, what a voice! Like it's so intense and big. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, because it's Jolene Turner. Was Jolene Turner and Graham Bonnet, were either of them? Because I thought I could maybe see them there, but I don't know them well enough in that era.
Yeah, they're not credited
know.
as soloists, but
Okay.
they might have been that gang with the Motley Crue guy.
Yeah, right. Could be.
It's
So-
full on, man.
Some fun facts. Well, they're not really fun facts. They're just facts. But it was recorded over 2 days at A&M Records in Los Angeles. And it says, capturing an electrifying moment in metal history.
It was.
It certainly was. And you already said it raised $3 million for famine relief.
Yeah.
Proving that metalheads have big hearts too.
That's the thing. They're willing to bite the heads off bats, but they've got big hearts.
And it was originally released on vinyl and cassette. So if you can find the vinyl, I'm sure it's worth a mint.
Oh yeah, man.
With
I
the
would
CD
love that.
release surfacing much later.
Aha.
Uh,
Interesting.
Yeah.
There are some docos on YouTube as well. I didn't get to those yet. I don't know if you guys
No.
checked them out. That could be fun. That could be
I'm just
fun.
watching it again as we're speaking. There's lots of fingerless gloves.
Yes.
There's lots of guys wearing sunglasses in the studio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very dark.
It's
Cap
yeah.
pulled down and sunglasses.
Yeah.
I don't. It's like they didn't want to know people to know they were involved. They're just like coming in, do this.
The choir shots. Holy moly, that's very flammable. There's a lot of very teased hair, lots of hairspray.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it for people, Gabor.
Watch it, people. Watch it. Watch it. Whatever you do, watch it.
I was vaguely aware of this because I think when it came out in '86, I think there was like a really small snippet of this on MTV. Don't know if you guys remember, they had MTV Music News or some little segment with Dickie Wilkins
Yeah, right.
saying something. And I reckon I saw about 10 seconds of it, and there was no way to find it in Australia otherwise. I mean, maybe you could buy the single here. I can't remember, but you couldn't see the video or anything. So
When we first had this discussion, you sent the link and I watched it. I was in tears. I sent it to so many people. I was like, you have to see this. How do we not know this existed before?
yeah,
Just
Singers and songs will never change it alone. Send your donations to Hearing Aid.
yes.
I'm up to that now, where we're flying through space with the credits.
Well, that's one
It's
of the
great.
lyrics as well. Singers and songs won't change the world or something. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
There's a really great YouTube comment. There's lots of great YouTube comments, actually. But my favourite one is the guitar solo section is longer than my last relationship. Anyway, that's it. That's Hearing Aid. Yeah, check it out, please.
Yeah, you have to. Your life will be better for it.
Definitely.
Gabor, what did you...
Well, let's
let's
hang
flip
on,
the script
hang-
completely.
Hang on, look, let's do a gigantic U-turn.
Yeah. Let's go from our Ferrari into like Leyland P76 or something.
Pickup truck.
Yeah,
Well,
pickup truck.
I went for something completely. I'm the black sheep as always. I went for
Bonkers.
something completely, utterly different again. I went for a country album. Yeah, but a cool country album. So this is Buddy Miller's Majestic Silver Strings. A lot of people haven't heard of that, but it's it was a one-off collaboration. You've heard of it or never heard of it?
No, hand up has not heard of it.
Oh, not heard of it. Okay.
Me either. Can I just jump in, Gabor? Buddy Miller, did he play with Emmylou Harris?
Yeah,
or-
he's
he's like the right hand.
and Robert
Man,
Plant.
okay.
Plant and Alison Krauss. He's the guitar player in that band.
Okay.
And-
Yep.
I mean, we'll get to who these people played with. It's insane. The list is insane. So Buddy Miller's Majestic Silver Strings is basically Buddy Miller, who's sort of a guitar player, producer, played with, I mean, everyone. Again, we'll get into that. Him and Bill Frisell, good friends. Him and Mark Ribot, good friends. And the fourth guy in this, Greg Leese, possibly one of the most recorded guitar players of all time.
Wow.
If you go and check out his discography, insane. absolutely insane. So Buddy Miller, guitar player, Bill Frisell, amazing guitar player, Mark Ribot, one of my favorite guitar players, and Greg Leese, who's a slight pedal steel guitar player. Between them, this is just a list, right? And this is not even like a quarter of it. Between those guys, they've recorded and performed live with Johnny Cash, Lee Von Helm, Leanne Womack, John Zorn, Patty Griffin, Emmylou Harris, Victoria Williams, Solomon Burke, John Fogerty, Frank Black, the Dixie Chicks, Elvis Costello, Tom Waits, Alison Krauss, Robert Plant, Willie Nelson, Eric Clapton, Joni Mitchell, John Mayer, Bruce Springsteen, the Eagles, and a bunch of the guys from the Eagles, Joe Cocker, David Crosby, Bonnie Raitt, Jackson Brown, Beck, the Bangles, Katie Lang, St. Vincent, Robbie Williams, Brian Wilson, Greg Allman, Neil Diamond, Bob Dylan, Stevie Nicks, Daft Punk, Smashing Pumpkins, Ringo Starr, and many, many, many. I mean, insane list. And most of those are just Greg Leese. It's insane who he's played with. But all of them, I mean, between them, they've played with, some of the who's who in the sort of, in that sort of kind of country rock blues kind of world. So these four guys, so Buddy Miller's friends with all of them, and they kind of separately often kind of ran into each other in one way or another, or had projects together. And they said, we should all get together and hang out and record an album sometime. And they tried to do that for years, and then it so happened that early in 2010, they were all available. So they all gathered at Buddy Miller's home studio for 3 days, from January 9 to 12, and they invited a bunch of singers that that Buddy Miller knew and they knew along. There's Emmylou Harris, Patty Griffin, Leanne Womack, Anne McRae, Sean Colvin, Julie Miller, Buddy Miller's wife, and a guy called Chocolate Genius, or Mark Anthony Thompson. So they're all people that they've worked with, and they said, come along. And they all set up in his studio in a live room in a circle, and every song was recorded live with vocals, everything. So they ran through it a couple of times,
cool.
all recorded old school onto tape, live. Thoughts on the songs I sent you guys to have a listen to, Matt?
So
or have you had a chance to listen to them? Or
yeah, I have.
So what are your thoughts?
So we had 3 songs. It was good. Meds, Bury Me Not on the Lone Prairie, and No Good Lover.
Yeah, 2 Mark Ribot songs, or his choice. And one, I thought, let's do one that isn't Mark Ribot.
Okay, cool. And we've talked about Mark Ribot in our Christmas albums episode of all places.
Once another left to center one that I did, yeah.
Oh, this was good. I enjoyed these tunes, Gabor. I've bookmarked the album to check out in full later on. Meds, I wrote, it's both sweet and subversive at the same time.
Yeah. It's such a typical, quirky, demented Mark Ribot brain song. So he wrote the song, he wrote the lyrics too.
Okay. Did he play on it though?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was him and Bill Frisell playing acoustic guitar on that.
Yeah, right.
And Leanne Womack singing. She's got great voice.
Great,
what a great voice, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. So I enjoyed that. Bury Me Not on the Lone Prairie, that's Ribot going nuts.
Yeah.
Well, not going nuts, but doing all the weird stuff.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Which is awesome. Is he on electric, and then who's on acoustic?
No, Ribot's on acoustic. So Ribot sings it and plays acoustic. And on that album often, if you listen to it with headphones, Bill Frisell is on the right.
Oh, Frisell.
Mark Ribot is on the left.
Yeah.
And then Greg Leese is sort of in the middle with the pedal steel. And Buddy Miller usually plays something like a mandolin guitar or a baritone. He plays sort of usually the different guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this was cool. This tune was tuned down to C, I think I worked out. And the acoustic sounds amazing. It's so raw and...
It's his old Gibson, what is a small body one? The A... Is it an A1 or something like that? Or A0? Or whatever, the small body Gibson sort of parlor size acoustic.
Yeah. Wow, it sounds gritty and it's so cool. And then obviously all the off-ball electric stuff. Kind of reminded me of, in the early 2000s, I was listening to a lot of folktronic stuff from the UK.
Okay.
And it was like folk and electronica. It doesn't sound like that, but just that approach of very acoustic sounds and then
See, that song is a
quirky
song.
electrical stuff.
There's actually a bit of a story with that song. So that's an old, what's called public domain. So not 100% sure who wrote it.
Okay.
Some of the sort of public domain songs. And Mark Ribot found an old manuscript book that was published in the 1920s or 30s of old sort of folk music, country music, folk music songs. And he found it, and I think he didn't know the tune. So he kind of it was just lyrics and chords. And he sort of started playing it and made his own version of it. Because the idea behind this album was, let's get together and play some sort of rootsy country folk kind of music, or cowboy, but really old school stuff, and kind of do their own version of it. And so there's actually, if you buy and for the guys with the special glasses, I've got the actual CD here. If you buy the CD, it comes with a DVD, and there's sort of a making of on the DVD.
That's cool.
And Mark Ribot talks about, so he found his old manuscript book that sort of has chords and lyrics and stuff in it. And he didn't quite understand some of the chord symbols, because some of the chords had a negative, like a dash, a minus next to it.
Right. Yep.
And he took it as probably a minor chord. But it wasn't till later when he got together with Buddy Miller, who knew a bit about that sort of stuff. That's actually back in the old days in America, how they notated dominant seventh chords. So it's
Oh, really?
yeah. So that song, wherever there's a minor chord, technically, it should have been a dominant seventh chord.
Okay.
So it took on a whole different world. And Buddy Miller said in that, it's actually, if you listen to it, it's the lyrics and the music don't really work together, because it's sort of a happy song, but talking about a guy dying and not wanting to be buried in the prairie, but in a nice place, right? Not in the desert, but in the grassy hills. But so it took on this really dark, minory thing in this version, and he loved it. Buddy Miller said, no, let's keep it like that, and then he recorded it like that. Cool. And so in this one, so Mark Ribot plays the acoustic guitar, Bill Frisell is the electric guitar on the right, Greg Leese is the pedal steel, and Buddy Miller plays Mando guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's great.
And it goes a little bit crazy in the middle, speeds up a bit.
Yeah.
But it's great, isn't it? What were your thoughts on that, Rob?
I like No Good Lover. That's kind of, if I'm going to get into that sort of stuff, it's a good gateway for me. It's kind of like jazzy country, like,
Anne McRae, who sings on that, is a gospel gospel singer, and you can hear the voice. She doesn't suit that sort of country thing, but that's one of the reasons they brought her in.
That's what pulls me in. Her voice definitely pulled me in. The production, the playing is stellar. It's not something that I would ever seek out.
No.
But it was a really fun listen, and just hearing the textures, and it was really cool, because it's, I listen to a little bit of country music, but it's very, very limited.
Yeah, me too. But yeah,
and acoustic, that kind of Nashville, I guess I'd term it that Nashville sort of musician, country, singer-songwriter, folky, with a bit of a jazz influence in there. It's not immediate for me, because it doesn't ever pop up, and I don't go seeking it out. So it was a nice change to listen, just like the playing and the space and the voices
all recorded live
are great
in the room.
too.
Yeah, the singing is amazing. And with that as well, so Mark Ribot's on the left, Bill Frisell is on the right, if you listen to it with headphones.
Yeah, right.
Buddy Miller plays a baritone, and Greg Leese is on steel guitar again. And it's funny with that song especially, you can really hear, because they take turns. So I think Frisell plays the first solo, and then Ribot and Frisell sort of swap. And you can always hear the sort of, Frisell is so precise and so perfect in his playing, in my opinion. And then you get the really sloppy Mark Ribot, but quirky, sloppy. And then it sort of swaps between this beautiful, clean, sort of perfect playing and the really sloppy Mark Ribot playing. And I love that too, with that gospel voice. It's great. But
it seems like they went with that juxtaposed thing, like you were saying about the lyric and the chord, being opposed. And then you've got these two opposing styles as well, juxtaposed. And it just gives it, you know, it gives it
Character.
depth and character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on that song, Rob? No Good Lover. Not Rob, Matt. Matt's the other Rob.
Rob?
The
Damn
other
it,
Rob. We're here again. All right, that's a drinking game for sure now.
Yeah.
Matt. Rob just spoke. Yeah, Matt. The other Rob.
Yeah. I think for all the tunes, but this one too. I'm enjoying the collision of roots and avant-garde. It sounds it feels a lot more authentic than it would look on paper, I think.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. It seems to live together in a cool way. I think Rebo, especially, because he lives in both camps very much.
He can play some really beautiful stuff, but then he can go really out there.
Really out.
Yeah. That's what I love about his playing. You listen to some of the stuff he did with Tom Waits, and there's some beautiful playing. And also with Elvis Costello, but then you listen to some other stuff, and it's really out there. But it always is very uniquely him. It's sort of, he has such a unique sort of sound to him. And that's sort of a lot of the songs on here, especially the ones. So I think they all picked a bunch of songs and sort of went with them and played with them, and then invited certain singers in to sing on them. A lot of the, especially Buddy Miller songs, are more country based, and Emmylou Harris sings on a few of them, and they're very country. I really, really like Leanne Womack's voice. She's on a couple of songs on there. Beautiful singer. Yeah. It's funny in that behind the scenes thing on Meds, especially because it's such a quirky, weird Rebo song with some quirky chord changes too, and the vocal melodies.
Odd lyrics.
Sorry?
And odd lyrics.
Very odd lyrics, yeah. He's back on the meds again. And it might be physiological. But anyway, they were saying in the interviews on the DVD, they were sort of saying she had a little bit of trouble singing it because she's never sung anything like that, and she's never had to sing melodies like that. That sort of where the chords don't necessarily belong together and stuff like that. But it's just so uniquely Rebo, and he plays it beautifully on the acoustic. But it's him and Frizzell together on the acoustic for that track.
Yeah, cool.
Check it out. It's one of those albums I back in the days when I used to do my band gigs, I always found after playing long nights with, you know, lots of loud music and drums right there and saxophone and all that stuff around me. I always like listening to sort of calm music driving home. And I listened to a lot of stuff like Thelonious Monk and some Miles Davis stuff and jazz and stuff. But when that album came out, that was just one of those albums, listening to it driving home at night. It's sort of kind of peaceful and sort of flows nicely. So it's not me, and it's like, really, I'm not a big country guy, and it's sort of, again, very left of center to what we're doing in this. But I thought, as always, I'll be the black sheep and bring in something weird.
That's fun.
With less hairspray.
Yeah.
Much less
hairspray.
Well, I think we should take a short break, and we'll come back with the final collab and some honourable mentions.
Back right after this.
This episode is brought to you by Fretboard Biology, the comprehensive online guitar course put together by Joe Elliott, ex-head of guitar at the Guitar Institute of Technology and the McNally Smith College of Music. I was one of the beta testers for the course and can say, as a music educator, I was really impressed by the logical sequence of learning. The course has also been endorsed by players such as Brett Garsed and Greg Cupp. For more details, check out the links in our show notes. Welcome back. We are talking iconic guitar collaborations. Rob Rhodes has brought this idea. We're having lots of fun with it. Where are we up to now, Rob?
All right, so yeah, I chose a second one because it's current. Like, it's only just sort of happened in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Just released. And it's the Going Home project by Mark Knopfler's Guitar Heroes. And it's an initiative that the music community has been a part of to raise funds for the Teenage Cancer Trust and the Teen Cancer America. Which, yes, just watching a YouTube thing the other day on statistics of cancer's massively on the rise in under 50-year-olds. So this is quite telling and, a real problem that we're seeing right now. So the project features an unprecedented lineup of some of the greatest guitar players and musicians in history, all coming together for this charitable cause. Now, the list is quite ridiculous of who's involved in this, and some are just, there's singers that just strum an acoustic guitar because there's no vocals, obviously. So you've got people like Sheryl Crow and Paul Carrack, and these people just adding little touches here and there. But there's also some big surprises, like a nice little guitar moment by Joan Armatrading, of all people. That I thought that was so tasty.
Yeah.
But it opens up with the late, great, legendary Jeff Beck just doing what he absolutely does best. But there's moments from Eric Clapton, David Gilmour, Buddy Guy, Tony Iommi.
Yeah, that's cool.
And as I said, unlike the some assembly required thing, everybody seems to have been like right on board with what the song needed. It wasn't about, like, even when you listen to Slash play his little part, you wouldn't pick that out as Slash. He is really sort of just played for the song, played what was required. Orianthe is doing her best Santana impression. Like, it's just, she's not doing her thing. She's just lending possibly exactly what she thought it needed for those. How they put that together, because if you watch the video, the names come up on the screen of who's playing when.
That's really cool, yeah.
And
so
Ringo
you can
Starr
go,
and his son playing drums, and it kind of goes from one to the other.
Yeah. So Zach Starkey and Ringo Starr, and Sting's playing bass. So yeah, there's so many people a part of this. It's just, I can't even fathom how they put it all together.
And can I just say, and Tom Morello playing a whammy. Thank you very much.
Tom Morello,
Yes,
and he's in the Fender 70th one as well.
Yeah.
So he's same as Bonamassa, seems to be in all of them.
Oh, Bonamassa, where did he come from?
He's in there, and he's doing his best Eric Clapton in that, in that song. So it's available to buy and download now. It's even available on a 12-inch vinyl. But oh man, the names, it just doesn't stop. Mark Knopfler is tasty as always.
Yeah.
Hank Marvin is just beautiful what he plays. There really isn't Brian May.
Yeah. Towards the end.
No one seems out of place. No one seems like they made it about them. They just really just wanted to bring some. Even Steve Vai, he's just kind of doing padding in the background.
Yeah. And
there's a little shining moment at the end, which is, I think it's the only thing that you go, that is signature to the player. And that was that. Well, I was going to say Satriani.
Also,
because
but
there's a drum fill that you would go, that would be in the Satriani, and there's a little lift in the music that he plays over, and it seems like, that's something that he may have contributed just to give it a little lift at the end. But yeah, what did we say this one weighed in at? It was like 10 minutes,
10 minutes
something.
or so, yeah.
So it's another one, but it doesn't seem to get repetitive. It builds very slowly before the drums come in. And there's just some really beautiful moments. Derek Trucks.
Yeah,
He's playing some sweet. Ry Cooder playing another great little slide thing that he's contributing. And yeah, what did you guys get out of this one?
I'm a big Knopfler fan, as we've talked about on a few occasions. So I really enjoyed it. I think you're totally on the money, Rob. That everyone's playing cool parts that tie in, even when it kicks in like towards the end. So Satriani does his classic. It sounds like he's crossed over the hands whammy bar trick. He does that big dive bomb. It just sounds majestic. It doesn't sound like, here's a dive bomb. It sounds, and then Morello comes in with his whammy
The
thing,
whammy.
which is with the tasteful whammy, which is what you've been trying to tell us, Gabor, all this time.
No one's
Tasteful
listening, but I'm
whammy.
trying, yeah.
Well, so there you go. So yeah, it was cool, man. I loved it. It was really touching hearing Jeff Beck open it. Apparently, that's his last recorded guitar parts
Yeah, wow.
before he passed away. So,
We
Dwayne
went out on
Eddy.
a high.
Oh man, Dwayne Eddy's on there as well. And as we're recording this, Dwayne Eddy has passed away in the last week or so.
Yeah.
So, some really special moments.
Even Bruce Springsteen, like he got such a moment, like I talked about Joan Armatrading.
Yeah.
But Bruce Springsteen gets this moment and you go, wow, like it's quintessentially him, the Telecaster, he's picking close to the bridge.
Yeah.
You know, that's beautiful. There's a couple
And it
of
works cool.
Yeah, even Keith Urban's on there, and he
gets
doesn't
a
get
long
too
run, actually.
Yeah, he's on Waddy Wachell. There's just you could watch it 10 times and probably not catch every moment.
It was really
There's a lot
exciting
going on.
too. As the song unfolds, another name pops up, and unless I heard it before I'd read about it that much, so I didn't know exactly who was on it. I knew a lot of people were on it, but a new name would pop up. And, oh wow, this player's on there. It's genuinely a surprise when Tony Iommi starts going down on it. It's like, oh yeah, man, this dude. Brian May, there's some touches of harmony there. I'm not sure if Vi is harmonizing with him or if just they all had overlapping
It
parts.
does feel like he's just kind of maybe doing a touch of that in the background, but it seems like he's mostly doing padding and like little noises that are adding to that kind of ambient nature of the track.
Okay.
Kind of like Derek Truxey's name pops up
Yeah.
every now a few times, and Waddy Wachell, because they're just kind of things in the background. Vince Gill is doing some
He's
beautiful
tasty.
things in the background too. And
Yeah.
well, you got anything to add, Gabor?
No, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I found it funny that, like you said, most of the time you didn't quite know who it was until you saw the name. But I thought there were a couple of players where you instantly knew. I thought David Gilmour, you kind of instantly knew that it was him.
Yeah, wow.
Brian May, you kind of instantly knew it was him.
Yep.
There's a few guys, Tom Morello with the whammy, I mean, instantly. But it was interesting how, a lot of players who you'd think, I would recognize this guy, like Slash. But you kind of go, which guitar was he? Or Steve Vai, and But it was great. I really enjoyed it. I in all honesty, I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, but I did enjoy it. No, I thought it was great.
Wow.
And how it builds and how it's sort of the flashes of the, who plays. And I thought it was really good.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
Was it,
so a minimum. Oh, yeah, go. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, was Guy Fletcher involved? I think I read he was
Yeah.
doing the mixing.
So
long time Dire Straits keys player.
Yep. So the recording took place at the British Grove Studios in West London, produced by Guy Fletcher. And it says a touching tribute to Jeff Beck's contribution to the single was described as absolutely meant to be and brings you to tears by Fletcher. The single's artwork was designed by Sir Peter Blake, who is known for working with the Beatles and the Who. And
It's got that collage kind of picture.
Yeah.
That Beatlesy sort of thing. That's cool.
So, I thought that was just, it's timely because it's something that's new. It's out now. It's only been out a week or two from the time we've recorded this. So, couldn't get further. Well, actually, you couldn't get further or closer to 1986, really, because this song from Local Hero, that's towards that, it was around that time, wasn't it?
I think it would have been, yeah.
So, all right, so honourable mentions. We've got a few. Gabor, did you want to mention your honourable
mine is
mention?
just, I thought, I was just listening to this again for the first time in ages the other day. There's an album I really, really like called Mambo Sinuendo. And it's a collaboration between Cooder and Cuban guitar player Manuel Galbán. I probably said it wrong, but who played with the Buena Vista Social Club a lot. And I guess maybe that's sort of where the Cooder connection comes as well. But it's an instrumental album of sort of Cuban, I would call it Cuban Latin surf music, for lack of a better word. Really beautiful stuff. And it's, I guess them two got together in the studio. There's some vocals, backing vocals and stuff like that. And but some beautiful stuff. So if you haven't checked it out before, Mambo Sinuendo by Cooder and Manuel Galbán.
Cool. Matt, did you have any honourable mentions?
No, I couldn't do anything after hearing that.
Oh no, that's taken up all the bandwidth.
It took it all.
I get that completely. So I had one honourable mention.
Yeah.
So there's a album called Paul Rodgers' Muddy Waters Blues, and I don't know if I've talked about it before, but for me, when I'm struggling as a guitar player over the years, that's been my North Star, that album. It kind of just gets me back to where I need to be, what I need to concentrate on as a guitar player. And it's Paul Rodgers, who's from Free and Bad Company fame. Yeah. He played with Queen for a while. Probably one of my favorite male vocalist of all time.
Great.
Favorite rock vocalist of all time. Yeah. And it's just a whole bunch of Muddy Waters covers with guest guitar players. There's Gilmore, Brian May, Brian Setzer, Neil Schoen. Who else is on it? Gary Moore, Richie Sambora. It's just all these great guitar players and all playing Muddy Waters covers. And the production is great. I think it's actually Jason Bonham on drums too.
Okay.
And which leads me to my other honourable mention as far as collaborations go, because I don't think anyone in our lifetime has had more collaborations than Slash.
There he is.
So, he's on that Going Home. He's on the Paul Rodgers album. We've talked about Always on the Run with Lenny Kravitz.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson, he's just about to release his own collaborations record, which is a blues record, which he's collaborated with a whole bunch of singers. So again, something current. I think the third single dropped last night with Demi Lovato on vocals, but he's already dropped one single with Brian Johnson singing normally.
Oh, man.
He sings the octave down and he sounds phenomenal. It sounds so good. And that's Killing Floor. And then he released, the Fleetwood Mac song Oh Well with Chris Stapleton on vocals. He's gone from being a collaborator with so many artists over the years and turned up at NRL Grand Finals and Super Bowls and, and now
the Barbie soundtrack.
That's right. He was at the Oscars a couple of weeks ago with Wolfgang Van Halen on stage too. So, I think honourable mention to Slash, who's maybe, in our lifetime, one of the greatest collaborators there's been. So,
good call.
Yeah. So that's our iconic collaborations.
Cool.
I think we touched on some really cool stuff.
I think we did. We covered several bases.
Cool. I knew you were going to do air quotes. Cool.
There's lots of air quotes, people. I love this. You know what I like about these shows with you guys? I always listen to stuff either I haven't heard in a long time or I've just never heard.
The stuff that I suggest usually, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, maybe. And it's really exciting. It's really exciting to hear the guitar in all these different contexts and spaces, man. It's so fun. So, guitar collabs. We'll get to Michael Schenker, but why? How come he wasn't on Here and A? Anyway, Rob, where can people check you out and what you're doing?
So as always, you can get all my gigs at roadtripent.com, or you can go to my Instagram, Rob Rhodes Music, and just check out some silly 360 videos and guitar cams.
Yeah, I love it.
And you can't actually ever see the guitar I'm playing, really, because the camera's a bit close. But I'm constantly denting 335s and Duesenbergs, so with small rig clips.
Love it. Love it. You get to see the flying fingers, though. That's the fun part.
Yeah, I'm more going home than hearing aid. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I
Slow
know
hand.
about that. I
Slow
know.
hand.
And Gabor, what's happening with you?
Well, if you really want to hear more of me, which I mean, if you really do,
Of course they do.
you can go and check out the Super Fun Awesome Happy Time pedal show, all one word. Yeah, and that's myself and my friend Alex, and we do demos of guitar pedals and guitars and amps and zooms and make super incredibly awesome jokes and stuff like that. Definitely not dad jokes. And we also have a podcast. And if you live in Southeast Queensland, why not come to a nice restaurant somewhere in Noosa and watch me play an acoustic guitar? Yeah. And that's Tall Guy with Glasses. If you go to Instagram and check out Tall Guy with Glasses. Not the Tall Guy with Glasses. That's another guy. We actually got in contact.
Really?
Because he
Do tell.
Yeah. He messaged me because he had Tall Guy with Glasses on Facebook.
Right.
And he wanted to do Tall Guy with Glasses on Instagram, but I had it, so he had to be the Tall Guy with Glasses. And vice versa. I'm the Tall Guy with Glasses on Facebook. So anyway, it's confusing. But he's a guy in America, and we chat every once in a while when people...
Are you besties now?
Yes, totally, BFFs. Every once in a while, people message me instead of him, or vice versa. So, yeah. So, Tall Guy with Glasses on Instagram. Yeah.
Very
anyway,
good. Very
no
good.
more talking.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Rob, this was a great idea, and it's been really fun chatting with you guys tonight.
Yeah.
Very much good times. Before we get out of here to watch Hearing Aid one more time, I want to give my thanks to Fretboard Biology, long-time sponsors of the show. Check out the online guitar course in the show notes. And yeah, Michael Schenker, he wasn't at Hearing Aid, but you know what? He sent a telegram and he told those guys to...
Keep rocking! Keep on rocking!
Keep on rocking, indeed. We'll all catch you next time. Bye-bye.